So this is a commission of art to Samuel J. Eller. Okay, I'm gonna scale in this OC. In a higher dimensions live a primeval god and goddess. They are called dual source Rex, the god, and the dual source Regina, the goddess. Dual source Rex means God lives a king, and dual source Regina means God lives a queen. They are the supreme gods of all dinosaurs and other church here in our own universe, in other universe as well. Wherever there are dinosaurs, there's gods watch over them in their own dimension. They live in a huge dark cave in the floor, walls, and ceilings are embedded with the skeletons of hundreds of even thousands of different species of dinosaurs, pterosaurs, crocodilians, watersaurians, and other chores. Being the gods, they both possess great powers. They can move between different dimension universe. They can create dinosaur and other dinosaur, and they can even influence people in other worlds without ever having to leave their own dimension. They can do this by speaking to people from other worlds, and even by setting them dreams and giving them ideas. In fact, of all the fictional dinosaurs that we see in the movie, TV shows, cartoons, novels, comic books, video games, artwork, etc., on the fact idea that these gods gave to people in our world, sort of like the muse of Greek mythology. In fact, it's impossible that all of the dinosaurs that are considered fiction in our world, such as Godzilla, Vetosaurus Rex, Starmus Rex, and Wildosaurus, may actually be real in an alternate universe. Yet another interesting possibility is that a dragon may have something to do with them. I thought these gods have always been dinosaurs. They was not always gods. And possibly a long time ago, when the multiverse was still young, they came from another universe from its own Earth, where humans and never exist, and no avian dinosaur never went extinct and remained the dominant form of life for billions of years. The dinosaurs of this universe, they were a great civilizations, possessed science and technology and culture, the likes of which the human's mind could not possibly conceive. They eventually began a project that would prove to be crowning achievement of their entire civilization. They took DNA sample of every single species of dinosaurs, pterosaur, crocodile, watersaurians, and even all the other source that had ever existed in their world, and combined them all together to create two super bodies. This was the body of Dinosaurus Rex and Dinosaur Regina. They then threw some unknown mean much of all of their mind to get into the minds of these two bodies, and thus become gods, possess great knowledge and power. They then ascend to the higher plane of existence and began to influence evolution on countless worlds, in countless universes, in the order to create more dinosaurs on those alternate worlds and each those alternate universe. However, once dinosaurians' life began on these worlds, the gods would be as a little involvement with them as possible. Thought they would someday influence the inhabitants of those other worlds with dreams and ideas. They would never directly do that they should also not do, as they believe that the inhabitants of other worlds should be free to follow their own evolutionary path and develop on their own terms. This means that dinosaurs originally come from the old world's universe, where these gods originally came from. And Dinosaurus Rex and Dinosaur Regina are not exactly benevolent or nor malevolent, as they have moments where they can be one or the others. They have mixed feelings about humanity.
Kết bái thành công. Chúc mừng ký chủ tấn thăng linh cảnh ngũ trọng thiên. Cách này chẳng phải nhanh hơn vạn lần so với thức điên cổ tu sao? Với thực lực linh cảnh ngũ trọng, ta có 10 phần chắc chắn sẽ đoạt được ngôi đầu. Lâm Phạm, tu vi của Minh ta về rồi, không buộc ta đêm đêm giúp Minh tu hành.
Huh, that's interesting. You talk about humanity. Oh, I remember. I thought they do not care for the most negative aspects of human nature, such as bigotry, unnecessary violence, or environmental destruction and greed. They do admire the most or positive aspect of human nature, such as empathy, creativity, intelligence, and adaptability. And of course, they are also flattered by humanity's great love and fascination with dinosaurs. Because of humanity's more positive traits, they believe humanity has potential and wonder it may be someday, somehow, humanity will become a gods too. But have these great dinosaur gods or influence me to write about this now? Multiverse level. Okay. Let's check this is the biggest bad angry god dinosaur right there. Oh shit, that is so scary. Alright. Dinosaur Sweat and Dinosaur Virginia can be like multiverse level, I think. Because I scared it. Here it is. The world is a lot more. I have a thought I can write. So this is the commission Monster X G-Force Personal and Black Goober the artwork. Oh, I'm gonna read this. This one's like almost 10 o'clock. It's like an ancient and primordial entity, chaos Sophoritheos, rules Earth for almost 177 million years, a period when the dinosaurs was involved in the Jurassic and grew and evolved as they did till the end of Cretaceous. As a god, it is very different from human entities. They are born from the collective belief and worship humans, focused toward them. Chaos over Theros, by contrast, appears to have come into existence along with the dinosaurs, as if it was tied to them directly. The problem with trying to understand its origin is due to its being so ancient and with no other deities of its kind existing on Earth. Doing any record history or attempted research quickly hits an insurmountable wall. The current prevalence theory is that possibly there was some unique spiritual quality in the dinosauria that allowed such a being to come into existence. True facts about Chaosophotheus have taken many years to acquire. The primary source is Chaosophotheus itself, as those who make contact with it gain knowledge of its past. However, this is not as simple as it sounds. Firstly, it takes a person of very strong spirit to even reach the dinosaur god. They must then be accepted by it, those the orange are simply devoured, and even then they may not be able to make sense of all that the primal deity tells them. The chaos of a theory's mind functions differently to humans and our gods. We are of the logic and emotion, while it is of primal instinct and urge. This combined with the sheer in magnitude of its memories, the memories of every dinosaur that has ever lived, can easily overwhelm the mind of lesser being. In some cases, the unfortunate soul can be driving mad, reduced to a vegetative state, or even die. To all these factors, those who have taken up worship of the dinosaur god have the best chance of getting any real insight on it. Those who side against Chaosophotheus has had to piece together what they could from its cult and worship, but thankfully as a scientific understanding of the prehistoric world has improved, the detail of chaos of it, Ethereal's past become clear. From what can be understood, Chaos Ethereals was a more benevolent duty during its golden age. It lay within the egg, living through the early dinosaurs that exist. From egg to death, its new life added to it, and in turn it secured the dinosaur thrived. Then one day, the burning one came, then being multi-human called the Chiyukan Alabet Impactor, where the being was non-caged, but what it wanted was simple: to feed on the earth life form. The burning one, or whatever, cosmic destruction, and it could be devoured all. Had not the god of dinosaurs rising from the earth to defend its territory, Chaos Furious and the Impactors savagely battle each other, their clash in power warping reality and putting the earth itself at risk. Eventually, the dinosaur god was victorious over the invader, but some realized that its victory was a bitter one. The earth has been going through the period geological on a heavy fall of people before the invader came, a time when all life is put to the test. This has happened several times in the past, and Chaos of Tears had used its power to ensure the dinosaurs survive with their god full power directly solely toward combat, combined with the devastation caused by the circular orbit. Impactors, the Dinosauria was truly on the cusp of extinction before the gods of dinosaurs could add a further tragedy occurred. The final clutch of the battle had damaged space-time itself, causing a tear in the fabric of reality to appear. Exhausted from its battle, Chaos Softarius couldn't fight the pull of the anomaly and was dragged into another dimension after it had been pulled through reality heal itself, and in doing so trapping the dinosaur god. How Conservatorius was able to survive until the time of human is a subject of most speculations. Humans' gods are tied directly to the belief and view fate as people stop believing in them. This is due to the fact that, like the mortal who make them human, deities have a strong set of self. While they can change as the belief around them change, they cannot become the new trinity, for example Zeus, and become Jupiter, but he's not Odin or Yahweh, despite all three beings based on similar themes and ideas. Is a theory the character of Arterius doesn't function in the same way, and as a result it doesn't simply change to match the dinosaurs as they evolve. Instead, as the dinosaurs change over time, they actually add to and decrease the power of the entity being empowered by over 170 million years of dinosaur evolution. Chaos Surfaterials likely has a huge store of energy, which in turn allow it to continue existing long after the extinction of creatures who created. Extinction. Interesting. When humans actually came into contact with the dinosaur god is lost to history. Possibly it must be known about since the dawn of man, and could have been basic for many of our gods and demons. The first known official documentary of the deities from the writing of the Greek scholar Boris Karlos, who was the errors and equivalence of an occult research. He referred to it as an exotic god, which was when Romanized read as Chaos Sophoteo, the Chaos Lizard God. Unfortunately, his writing and those of others throughout history up until the Victorian period was treated as either the waving of a madman, the or heresy, which resulted in many of them being disposed of along with the others. The vast majority of origin data on Chaos Sophotarius come from document Chaos Contherius. It's constantly described as an ever system as a monstrosity form with a modern description. State is a complex as of every dinosaur that has ever existed 1 minute ahead, and the torso of a Tyrannosaurus Rex will rise for its form only to be swept away in a wave. A new future. The next its goal has remained unchanged since the time of its imprisonment. The god of dinosaurs wished to return to the world of his birth and restore the dinosaur as the dominant life form. For many aeons, this desire seemed unobtainable until we humans made contact with it. According to its worshippers, the Chaosauterians cannot return by force. It took its full strength, clashing with the power of another being that rivaled itself to forcible weaken the dimensional barriers. It would never hope to replicate a feat on its own. Even at the height of its power and exile, it has lost almost half its strength. However, it retained a spiritual connection to this plane of existence which it could use to return under the right condition. If a strong enough spiritual connection exists, it would be able to use the link to weaken the dimensional barrier on both sides, simultaneously allow it to form a portal large enough for it to pass through. This is why it has considered to taking human followers. Human worship on its own does a little to nourish Chaosauterian, but the connection, while very weak, has allowed it to lay the seed of its freedom. Through this lesser portal, the gods are able to create Chaosauterians can send through matters that can be used to re-establish the dinosaur. This normally take the form of eggs of fully developed dinosaur grown from its own body, which the god would care for. However, if the portal is particularly small, it will send there some of its own blood, Chaosauterian's blood, or can be used to create dinosaurs in a number of ways. In the past, it could be used to resurrect dinosaur fossil, or even in turn a chosen human who consume it in a higher enough quantity into one modern area. Technologically advanced code has gone so far as to clone dinosaur and even develop a bioweapon. The aim of this all this is for the code to create a dinosaur population large enough to form a strong spiritual connection with Chaosauterians, which will allow it to return to our world. In the old days, these dinosaur cults generally settled in remote places so they could conduct their ritual and care for the chance away from prying eyes. While many modern cults still do this, there are just as many who now seek out wealthy and influential benefactors to support and protect them. The type of worship they conduct a higher fabric, generally involving blood rites and human sacrifice for only the most primal of acts, and can appease such an ancient deity. It is almost common for these cults to keep other big animals for ritual purpose, especially when they are in their fancy. Those animals are universally also birds, alligators, crocodiles, or for a while they lack the unique spiritual quality of non-ovarian dinosaurs at all direct relate to them, so in effect to deity blood, this creature can fall under its influence. Some cults has gone so far as to unleashing the dinosaur god blood into the local ecosystem to take control of these modern animals on mass. This also has an effect on the local plant life, which will being to elder into a life forms more akin to those of the dinosaurs eras. Some experimental cults have taken to try to research other fossilized remains to use Chaosauterian's blood with very mixed results. The most successful was the resuscitation of pterosaurs, since they, like birds and crocodiles, have strong genetic links to the dinosaur and can thus be controlled. The same goes for any extinct bird species. Also, other creatures such as marine reptiles or more ancient species, even when successfully restored, always uncontrollable and surrealistic manners, have never been restored. So these cults succeed, it would be the end of the human race. Even in this weakened state, Chaosauterian is too powerful for even modern man and his gods to defeat with it, return a new age of dinosaurs would begin.
Sự xét ngàn thu sẽ ghi cả bao nhiêu năm qua, không ngờ người hiểu chậm nhất sẽ là một tên nhóc danh hài. Mẫu hậu, Lâm Phạm, dù cho ngươi có khôn nguồn mồm mép, chậm đã ban hôn, chính là kim khẩu ngọc ngôn không thể thay đổi. Bệ hạ, quy tắc của đại hội thiên tài này cũng là do chính bệ hạ xin được kết, cũng là kim khẩu ngọc ngôn của ngài. Chuyện này,
He say
hắn mà kết bái với bệ hạ.
he defeat his gods. You mean all gods in Monument? So reality will be. Wait, he got a Autofossils? I won't give him that. Alright, so Chaos Studios is a one big bad god. Angry god dinosaur that could be witched to Autofossils because I read that the whole script. Damn, that is pretty badass. I didn't know he got a Autofossils some stuff. I would say this is the most powerful one I ever heard. Like he said he fight his gods and humans and all of this shit. So I didn't know he fight all gods. So out of both the strongest one won. Alright. Yeah, I found it in Toho Kingdom and I found it in the Facebook. So this one he got Multiverse level. There's 2 ones. So the god and the goddess will be I have to say the Multiverse level. This one right here, the powerful OC one, he glitched to Autovosa, the strongest one. Probably low Autovosa or something. He said his god will be high Autovosa, but I would say it was pretty good stories. Yeah, I never heard about that shit. That is insane. High Autovosa, average Autovosa. I want to say low Autovosa, but this one is pretty strongest one. He said it wicked. He said he's too powerful for the mankind and all kind of gods. It's like his gods, the human's god, like every human's god. So we say that high Autovosa some stuff. Alright, there you have it.